The Faculty of Medicine in Pilsen was founded in October 1945 as part of Charles University. Over the last 60 years, it has evolved into a modern institution of higher education and trained more than 6,800 medical doctors who work in all parts of the Czech Republic and abroad. The curriculum is similar to the curricula of other European universities. 2 study programs are offered: General Medicine and Dentistry. General Medicine is a 6-year course and Dentistry lasts 5 years. Clinical courses and bedside teaching take place in healthcare institutions at the University Hospital in Pilsen. They all have extremely high professional and technical standards. From the first year to the end of the winter semester of the 5th year, theoretical and preclinical courses and the first stage of clinical courses are organised in semesters. From the summer semester of the 5th year to the end of the 6th year, instruction is organised in blocks. In order to fulfil the study requirements of a course, the student has to pass an examination or obtain a class ticket. International students study in separate groups in English. The curriculum is the same as the Czech one. Because of the relatively low number of students, the teaching of theoretical courses has a more personal approach. During their studies of general medicine, students have to complete 2 practical training courses in the holidays: a 3-week nursing care course after completing the 2nd year, and a 4-week practice on internal medicine and surgery wards after the 4th year. Theory is taught in 5 large lecture halls, a host of practice rooms, classrooms, and small teaching rooms in the faculty and in hospitals around Pilsen. Over the last 10 years, the faculty has invested a lot of money in extensive reconstruction of teaching rooms and modernisation of the computer network and telecommunication facilities. As a result of this investment, the faculty is now one of the top institutions within Charles University. It has great potential for high-quality education of medical students, as well as for research and development. Of course, modern technology has brought fundamental changes in practical teaching. Continuous innovation of teaching methods has become common practice. The reading room is used extensively. Students have access to a number of databases and publications essential for study and research. The traditional library has gradually evolved into a modern information centre with a large number of traditional and electronic sources of information. Publications on the racks include 150 Czech and 117 foreign journals available to students. Traditional loan services are also provided. Students are not only trained in medical practice, they also learn the essentials of scientific work and are encouraged to carry out research. They have access to the faculty's state-of-the-art facilities and equipment, and their efforts are fully supported by the senior staff. Selected students' papers are published in Czech and foreign journals and presented at both faculty and international conferences. The authors of the best papers receive a financial award. The faculty provides unique opportunities for all those who are genuinely interested in research. The ceremonial act of matriculation is always a pleasant experience, but it is only the beginning of a long journey. And of course, all the conditions for admission must be met. The fundamental requirement for admission is to pass written examinations in physics, chemistry, and biology. The applicants can find out their results from the university website or notice board, where they are arranged in descending order. Now, let's take a look at the main courses on offer and the faculty's institutions and departments. Anatomy is a fundamental branch of medicine. Students gain an in-depth knowledge of the human body, partly at lectures supported by advanced audiovisual technology, and partly in smaller groups in practical courses where they study various anatomical preparations. They also have a chance to test their knowledge of anatomy on the autopsy course. Studying specimens held in the Anatomy Museum and elsewhere helps deepen their understanding of organs, their structures, and the way they relate to each other in the body. Physiology of general and dental medicine is taught in the second year. A thorough understanding of this subject is necessary for coping with most of the preclinical and clinical disciplines that follow. Lectures, supplemented by clinical correlations, present the basics of human physiology. Practical training in this field has been extensively modernized. Experiments carried out on animals have been replaced by alternative methods, such as training films and computer simulation. The laboratories are flexible and can be used for a relatively wide range of assignments. The student's knowledge is checked by a comprehensive computer test, not by oral examination. The Institute of Physiology's activities focus around the morphology and functions of the cardiovascular system. Over the last few years, the range of methods used has been extended to include molecular biology, immunoanalytical methods, and the target lock technique. Biophysics is one of the basic areas of medical education at the Faculty of Medicine in Pilsen. Its teaching has been fundamentally modified and modernized over the last few years. The students' laboratories have all been reconstructed, and they are now being equipped with state-of-the-art technology similar to what they will find in clinical departments. To prepare them even better for their future careers, students are even acquainted with equipment which is not yet available in clinical practice. At the Institute of Biophysics, the following equipment is used on a regular basis from the first year: a videoscope, experimental X-ray apparatus, a latest generation ultrasonographic device capable of measuring the thickness of blood vessel walls, high-quality microscopes with computer image processing, an experimental hyperbaric chamber unique in Europe, experimental thermovisual cameras, and other state-of-the-art devices. High-tech video and data projection with links to various medical devices is standard in every classroom. Pharmacology specializes in the effects of substances on living organisms and their subsequent transformation. The use of computer simulation to reproduce a number of pharmacokinetic and pharmacodynamic processes eliminates the need for experimental animals. Students have the opportunity to investigate substances based on different aspects of their effects. On the biology course, students study the molecular biology of cells. This, together with the fundamentals of human genetics, constitutes more than half of the biology teaching hours. The confocal microscope is the pride of the Institute. It enables real-time observation of the molecular structures of individual living cells. Software also makes it possible to create 3D models of the observed structures. This technology is used at the Institute for both study preparation and tutorials, where it contributes greatly to the clarity of the teaching. As at other institutes, students are engaged in research. With the help of state-of-the-art technology, they can present their findings at the faculty and at international conferences. By looking at a patient's medical history, examining their nutritional state, analysing their diet, their level of physical activity and selected biochemical values, students learn how to assess the risks of cardiovascular diseases and suggest changes in the patient's lifestyle. Apart from training future doctors, the Institute of Hygiene engages in research which includes the investigation of recently detected food quality properties. It's particularly involved in determining the total antioxidative capacity, which helps prevent the diseases of civilization, such as atherosclerosis, type 2 diabetes, tumours, and so on. These measurements are systematically carried out on foodstuffs of vegetable origin, and the Institute is one of the first in the Czech Republic to devote itself to this area. The Central Radioisotope Laboratory serves as a workplace for working with isotopes for the Faculty of Medicine. Both in vivo investigations, for monitoring metabolic reversal of substances in laboratory animals, and in vitro investigations that can monitor changes in the level of hormones, enzymes, and proteins in biological fluids or tissues are carried out. Furthermore, molecular biology is used to determine gene expression and site mutation in oncological and cardiovascular diseases. The laboratory is actively engaged in the faculty's research programs. At the Institute of Pathological Physiology, students study disorders in the physiological functioning of an organism. They also learn procedures needed in practice, such as surgical suturing and surgical techniques under sterile conditions. For most of them, this is the student's first contact with a living patient. Having previously worked with laboratory animals, they now master the principles of an ethical approach to human patients. In the Laboratory for Higher Nervous Activity, advanced computer-controlled video technology is used to monitor the learning process, enabling the level of learning capacity to be exactly assessed. The department's instruments serve both research and education. One of a number of practical assignments focuses on functional neurological brain diagnostics. A computer encephalograph is used, which surveys cerebral cortex activity and analyzes its functions. This device is also able to process and archive measured data. By microscopic investigation of animal brains, students learn about functional morphological changes in the brain structures engaged in learning and behavior, right down to the neuron level. In medical chemistry, students familiarize themselves with the human body's chemical composition, the ecological hazards, and the basics of toxicology. Biochemistry then provides a summary of the main metabolic processes in the human body. Biochemical causes and the consequences of some pathological conditions are demonstrated on models. A pathobiochemistry course, which further develops understanding of the essentials of pathological conditions, is included in the fourth year. Great attention is also given to the biomolecular mechanisms associated with nucleic acid function. DNA analysis is carried out using polymerization chain reaction. In the fifth year, studies are augmented by a clinical biochemistry course provided by the University Hospital's Institute of Clinical Biochemistry and Hematology. This course is essential for a student's preparation for medical practice, as diagnostics without laboratory investigation would be unimaginable. At the Biochemistry Institute, several research projects are underway in molecular genetics and the enzymology of disease processes. Students study histology, a discipline dealing with the microscopic structures of the human body. Knowledge of the microscopic composition of the cells, tissues, and organs which make up the human body is vital to understanding how they function. Knowing the microscopic composition of organs in a healthy human is the basis for recognizing the microscopic changes in a diseased body. And this is the subject of pathological histology. Histological examination is an essential method of clinical examination. In the first semester of histology, students learn how to work with a microscope, acquire a basic knowledge of cellular biology, and familiarize themselves with the description and composition of the human body's basic tissues. In the second semester, students concentrate on organ systems and embryology. Sets of specimens, foreign language textbooks, microphotographs, electronograms, and laboratory demonstrations of histological techniques are all used in histology instruction. A considerable amount of time in dentistry is spent working on the physical properties of various dental materials and different technologies. For example, having first checked the functioning of polymeric lamps, students use a model to produce a photo-initiated composite filling, which is set by light. They proceed in steps following the manufacturer's guidelines, and the results of individual operations are photographed and inspected using a stereo microscope. Students thus gain an understanding of how to influence the properties of the material, which makes this an essential component of their studies. Other procedures are similarly documented. At the end of the semester, students copy all their data onto CDs, which are then made available for further study. From their first year, future dental surgeons are guided in hands-on training of treatment procedures using the faculty's dental simulators. On these phantoms, students can simulate any kind of intervention before working on a live patient. State-of-the-art simulators are used to practice all kinds of dental and medical procedures, from making a filling to tooth extraction. From the third year, students study individual clinical dental surgery disciplines such as preservative stomatology, pediatric stomatology, prosthetics, parodontology, and surgery. Students spend about half of their time involved in hands-on practice with patients. Students' education is combined with routine healthcare practice, which means they have a chance to experience a broad range of treatments, including highly demanding facial surgery. The Pilsen Department of Dentistry offers students a purpose-built modern building with state-of-the-art equipment. It is located in the University Hospital, so good contact with associated fields is assured. Operating theatres are equipped with the latest technical facilities necessary for sophisticated operations involving transplants, blood vessels, the cardiovascular system, chest, liver, gastrointestinal and endocrinological surgery, orthopedics, traumatology, and neurosurgery. Theatres are equipped with apparatus for extracorporeal circulation and stereotactic navigation, ultrasonic dissectors, harmonic scalpels, argon coagulation, the latest laparoscopic and arthroscopy towers, radiofrequency ablation, recuperators, and so on. These fully equipped central operating theatres have 12 operational units. Students also get practice in other clinical departments, such as orthopedics, epidemiology, neurology, psychiatry, dermatology, ENT, ophthalmology, and pediatrics, as well as on the anesthesia and resuscitation wards, gynecology, and forensic medicine. Students complete their training at clinics and on wards in direct contact with patients. They learn how to communicate with the patient, are trained in examination methods, and take part in medical rounds. Experienced teaching physicians consult with them on patients' disorders, symptoms, and methods of treatment. Students are also introduced to the Schickel Institute of Pathology, which provides, above all, bioptic diagnostics for every branch of medicine. Standard histology is carried out here. The immunohistology laboratory has more than 180 antibodies available. The Institute has an ultrastructural pathology laboratory and a molecular biology laboratory, where common diagnostic specimens are examined and research projects are carried out. The Schickel Institute is without question the largest consultation centre in the Czech Republic. It also has a register of tumours, one of the biggest and best organised databases in the world. It is used primarily for research and provides comparative material for consultative investigation of tumorous tissues. In their later years, students are introduced to special diagnostic and medical procedures, for example, hemodialysis, which is the filtering of blood. Another way of removing toxins from the blood is by peritoneal dialysis. Future doctors can learn modern treatments and also participate in examination and treatment of patients. Practical training also guides students to wards with even more demanding environments, such as the intensive care unit at Bory Hospital. Emergency procedures and contact with patients complete their overall training. The comprehensive nature of the student of general medicine's knowledge is guaranteed at the Pilsen Faculty of Medicine. Practical knowledge of procedures in a hospital environment is a further step towards becoming a fully fledged doctor of medicine. These are only the main branches of study at the Charles University Faculty of Medicine in Pilsen. The student can expect to gain much more in-depth knowledge in many other fields of medicine too. The university naturally expects the students' acquired knowledge to be tested in the form of examinations. Assessments and exams are accredited, and a specific number of credits must be attained for each course. Students must receive a minimum of 60 credits by the end of each academic year. The time finally comes when the full number of credits has been gained, the state examination has been passed, and there is only one last step to be made: the graduation ceremony. In closing, it is enough to quote Jana Slavíková from the 50th anniversary celebrations of the Faculty of Medicine in Pilsen. Studying at the Faculty of Medicine requires a strong intellectual ability and good moral fibre. Students not only learn the facts about medical practice, they also acquire the fundamentals of scientific research methods and are led towards independent work. The concept of the faculty is not only to produce a high number of graduates, but to educate professionally and morally well-prepared doctors of outstanding quality who are willing to develop their knowledge and contribute to the further evolution of medical science.